Howdy, everybody. Thank you so much for being here today. As Brad said, I'm Kerri Smith, Executive Director of the Rice Alliance Clean Energy Accelerator. It's a lot of words. And yes, I am in my 21st year, and Brad was asking me last night, how many venture forums do you think we've actually done together? So if you count this is the 21st Energy one. I think we've done 21 life science ones. We used to do nanotech. I think we did 4 nanotech venture forums early in the nanotech days, and then I think we did about 10 IT venture forums. So whoever did the math, I think we're in our 50s. I know I was a brunette when we first started, so I know I'm beyond the 50s here at this point. But anyway, thank you very much for being here. We're really pleased to have the outcome and to celebrate the 12 companies that just completed the Clean Energy Accelerator. This is our 4th cohort that Brad mentioned. We are excited to play a pivotal part in the advancement of early stage energy transition focused companies operating roughly in the TRL level of 3 to 7. Through the course of the last 4 years, we've had, up until last year, we had 43 companies that we've trained through our program. I say trained, really we try to position companies. We position them for market readiness, commercial readiness, investor readiness, pilot readiness, manufacturing readiness. It really all depends on what it is the startup needs when they come into the program. We try to identify what those near-term milestones are that they need to achieve, and then we build a program that sort of tailors what it is they need, and we try to meet them where they are. So up until this year, we had trained 43. This year, now we have added 12 more, so we're at 55 companies that have gone through the program, and these are the next 12 companies that you will hear from today that are based predominantly in North America, but also elsewhere around the country. Just know that we appreciate you being here and celebrating with us in their promise. But before we get started, I would like to introduce Wells Fargo. So Wells Fargo was very instrumental in seeding this program back in 2020. Our first class launched in 2021. But they were very eager to launch a program that focused on ways that we could all become better environmental stewards and become working towards a cleaner economy. So I would like to invite up to the podium R.C. Munoz, who's the Vice President for Philanthropy and Community Impact, to say a few words about the role that Wells Fargo is playing in this ecosystem as well. R.C.?
Thank you for the kind introduction, and good afternoon, everyone. There you go. Thanks for joining us. As she mentioned, my name is R.C. Munoz, and I'm the Vice President of Philanthropy and Community Impact, representing the greater Houston region for Wells Fargo. I'm honored to be here with you today as we kick off the afternoon session that will feature the Rice Alliance Clean Energy Accelerator program that's sponsored by Wells Fargo. Wells Fargo aspires to have a positive impact in the communities that we serve by using our resources and business expertise in collaboration with community organizations like Rice University to connect you to valuable resources. We are strongly committed to supporting small businesses, which really are the backbone to our community, and that's why we also support nonprofits and organizations in an effort to provide valuable programming and resources to entrepreneurs. Wells Fargo is proud to have donated nearly $420 million through our Open for Business program, which is a national recovery effort to help small businesses that disproportionately had been affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, established by donating the proceeds that we received by processing the PPP loan protection program. Wells Fargo is also committed to sustainability and climate resilience. Through the Wells Fargo Foundation, we support sustainability initiatives that enable an equitable, low-carbon future, focusing our efforts on accelerating sustainable finance and clean technology innovation, strengthening local climate resilience strategies, and advancing climate justice. Together, we believe that we can reduce climate risks, improve community resilience, and reduce energy costs for businesses. So we look forward to hearing the pitches from the 12 startups in this year's 4th cohort of the Rice Alliance Clean Energy Accelerator. And it's my hope that you enjoy the discussions, learn something new, that you're making meaningful connections, and you leave here feeling inspired and empowered, and know that Wells Fargo is here to support you. Thank you.
You all have been a wonderful partner to work with, and we appreciate all of the contributions that you guys have made to the program. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started here in just a second, but before we do, I wanted to invite you to look closely around you. You will likely see a face that you see up here in this sea of faces. These are the mentors that were very highly supportive of our program. When we interview the companies that are applied to our program, one of the questions that we ask them is, what is it you want from us? What is it you hope to get from the program? And access to mentorship is always one of the first answers they give us. So the people that you see here before, I think we have a little over 80, have actively engaged in various capacities with our founders, and just know that if you're out here in the audience, I've seen many of you today. Thank you so much for the contributions that you've made, not only to our program, but I know that many of you have taken on some additional contributions with the companies as well. So know that we appreciate you and the founders appreciate you as well. We hope that you'll return next year when you get that phone call again. In addition to that, we have tapped into the wealth and knowledge of many subject matter experts and others who have wisdom and knowledge to impart in the founders in the form of speakers and subject matter experts. So over the course of the program, I mentioned earlier that we do try to highly tailor this program to the needs of the founders. And so we identify people in the community and in the industry who can come and talk about those points of friction that the founders need to overcome. And so these 45 plus individuals contributed to the content and the material outcomes that you'll hear about today. Know that we also appreciate all their contributions as well. And then another element that we have in the program is something that we call the executives in residence. And so we have brought on this year 4 highly wonderful, there's so many words I could use to describe y'all, but the executives in residence this year have joined executives in residence from prior years who serve as sort of North Stars for the companies that go through the program. So we do cluster the companies into pods, and each of these executives in residence has led a pod of companies through the program based on what it is that they need, and they've been holding them accountable, sometimes to their chagrin, but honestly, I promise you it was good in the end of the day, right? So we are super excited to introduce each of them to you today. What we'll do when we kick this off is we'll invite each of the executives in residence to come up, say a few words about the pod members that they worked with over the course of the summer, and then you'll hear from each of the companies. Know, XIRs, that managing entrepreneurs is an art. It's also an oxymoron, I think. But you all have perfected it, and know that we appreciate that as well. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Over the next 60 minutes, we're going to spotlight the companies of Class 4 that will be introduced by their XIRs. And first up, we're going to kick it off with the pod that was expertly led by Tim Franklin-Hensler, who will share a few remarks about his group and kick us off. So if you would please help me welcome Tim Franklin-Hensler to the podium.
Thank you very much. Kerri, Matt, Chelsea, I think first off we'd like to say thank you very much to you guys. Wouldn't have been able to do it without you, and I think all 12 of the startups probably benefited from your leadership too. We're very fortunate. David kind of made our lives easy this morning by saying what was important and the kinds of challenges that we're facing. In particular, he talked about the emissions growth that's being driven by both industry and buildings. And the startups kind of across the cohort trying to tackle that problem, and in particular the 3 businesses that are in my pod are addressing that as well. So first off, you'll be able to hear from Corrolytics, which is basically addressing the emissions challenge that is being put forth by large industrial facilities and also pipelines, and being able to make it much more effective understanding of where we're getting those kinds of emissions from. The second will be VulcanX, which has developed a first-of-a-kind product they already have a plant in Canada that is a lower emission, cheaper solution for producing hydrogen, similar to methane reforming, but with better outcomes. And then finally, we've got a homegrown Houston-based business, Sensytec, that has a novel solution to monitoring our buildings and our built environment. They've already got customers in Texas, and they're in the process of growing their footprint across North America. So, Anwar, you're first up. Look forward to hearing from you, and good luck to the rest of the cohort as we go forward.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Dr. Anwar Sadiq, CEO and co-founder at Corrolytics. At Corrolytics, we are revolutionizing and digitizing how corrosion is detected and monitored for industrial assets. Imagine your pipeline like a human body. Just like viruses and bacteria can grow, cause infections, and damage and weaken your body, microorganisms in industries causes microbial corrosion that slowly damages, deteriorates pipelines, storage tanks, and other metallic infrastructure in industries. Can you imagine microorganisms causing $1 trillion problem? Now, corrosion-related failures is also causing devastating harm to the environment. At Corrolytics, we are addressing 1.2 gigaton of carbon footprint each year that is associated with replacing corroded steel in industries. So how come no one solved the problem? In industries, many of the tools that are widely used today are very antiquated. Everyone is applying many tools, but they're failing to address the core of the problem. That is, corrosion. Microbial corrosion is an electrochemical process, and to capture it accurately, you have to implement electrochemical technology. That's where we come in. Our first-of-a-kind patented electrochemical technology test kit is like an advanced medical diagnostic tool that detects the problem early on. We are the only company in the world that can detect microbial corrosion on-site and in near real time. We are faster than any tools out there, and we are more accurate than any laboratory services. Now, with our technology, we can eliminate addition of unnecessary chemicals and biocides to the environment. Since we can detect the problem accurately on-site, we can extend the life of the assets. And we can prevent shutdown that can cost at least $1.8 million per day. Now, behind this innovation is our founding team who has dedicated over 10 years of R&D in this very technology. And we have published many scientific journal articles in high-impact journals. We are backed by advisors who has 40+ years of experience in the energy sector. Even though our technology can be applicable in every major sector as we know, our beachhead market is the oil and gas. Corrosion-related failure in this sector is highly costly and very catastrophic. Now, that gives us a very attractive market. We have an $800 million market for the United States oil and gas sector alone, which is 10% of the total global available market of $9 billion. Now, this is my favorite part. Even before we release the technology to the market, we have already validated the product market fit. Our customers wanted to know their asset integrity right now. Hence, we went live with our comprehensive in-lab services. In Q4 of 2023, we started to generate revenue, and we have tripled that this year. So far, we have reached a TRL of 6. That means our technology is fully validated with real-world samples. We were able to raise $1 million of working capital, mostly non-dilutive, that helped us to reach this stage. Currently, we are raising a seed round of $3 million and looking for additional pilots and partners to take this technology to a TRL 9. I mean, look how much we have achieved in the last 3 years with limited resources and limited team. Imagine what we can do with the right partnership and the right collaborator in the sector. At Corrolytics, we are increasing safety and efficiency for the current infrastructure. And as the world is moving towards cleaner technologies, we are de-risking the energy transition. Once again, Dr. Anwar Sadek, CEO and founder of Corrolytics, thank you for your time and attention.
I think it is my turn, but let me, okay, there we go, perfect. Thank you very much, I think it matches my suit. So first of all, thank you everyone for being here. My name is Omar Herrera, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of VulcanX, where we developed a scalable technology to produce low-emission hydrogen at the lowest cost. So why is this important? Because hydrogen is in pretty much everything that we use and need. The only problem is that it's really hard to produce. And what we're trying to do is address the energy emissions and cost targets that have been presented. So what we're proposing is really simple. Produce the hydrogen at the same price as steam methane reforming, which is the main process that we have used, but with almost the same amount of emissions that electrolysis. How do we do that? We have patented the technology that is come out from the University of British Columbia, and what we do is imagine like there's two sets of boxes. One box has where we put in metal ingots in, and those get melted. Then we recirculate it into a reactor where we bubble natural gas. So that natural gas then cracks onto the main components, which are hydrogen and solid carbon. So we effectively are sequestrating carbon on site in a solid. So far, we have been able to scale this technology 200 times. So we're at TRL 7. We have developed the end-to-end supply chain, so we basically just have to look at the location, point and shoot. And we have also been able to play around with the carbon that we produce. That means, depending on the hydrocarbons that we use, we can produce and tailor that carbon production. So if you look at the SM images there's methane and natural gas, and we show the different types of temperatures and how we can affect that production. And why do I say scale? Our first prototype produced 1 kilogram of hydrogen. It was not grams. We were at 1 kilogram, then we jumped to 200 kilograms, and our next jump is going to be 1 ton of hydrogen per day. We have already secured $10 million. We received $10 million in non-dilutive funding. We have awarded $4 million for the front-end engineering design of the follow-up plant. And the reason why we do the things that we do is that we're actually really good. In the sense that, I want you to remember these things. One, we're scalable. We from the beginning, we were meant to scale this thing. Two, we're 1/4 of the energy required to produce hydrogen via electrolysis, or half of our biggest competitor, which is Monolith. And we already have partners that are looking into our technology. We're decarbonizing the natural gas, and we have already gone through phase 1 of our project that will take us all the way to 1 ton per day plant. That's in collaboration with different utilities in British Columbia and Alberta. We're already looking into what to do with that carbon, because that's a regular question that we often receive. And hopefully we'll be able to show what that means in the concrete production. We are a very well prepared team. We have done R&D, we have finance team, we have done commercialization before, and we're ready to scale. So please join me in the path of producing the lowest cost, low emission hydrogen. We're ready for scale. We're opening a round of $7 million USD, and we will use that to take over that plant. Thank you.
I think I'm at the wrong job site. Hold on. Hello, everyone. My name is Robert. I lead finance at Sensytec, where we've developed a platform for you to understand how concrete infrastructure is performing in real time. We interact with our built environment on a daily basis. We're in this hotel made out of concrete, but to put it into perspective, 30 billion tons of concrete are poured every single year, making it the most widely used material in the world. And the demand for concrete is not going to slow down. It is projected that 9 New York cities will be built every year for the next 40 years, and today this accounts for 8% of our global CO2 emissions. The problem is that there's no visibility into how our concrete is performing in real time. Today, it's mandated that concrete be tested and inspected across its life cycle, but the way that we do it requires manual labor, transportation to a laboratory, heavy machinery, paper and pen reports, which leads to bad data and is not reflective of what's happening out in the field. So what we do at Sensytec is that we make concrete talk with our sensors. We understand the real-time performance of concrete, and our customers are using those to build faster, reduce the emissions and costs of their projects, and also have access to high-quality data. We've deployed our technology across infrastructure verticals, but where we've seen major impacts is in the precast segment. Precasters are manufacturing facilities that make our nation's infrastructure. They make our bridges, they make the highways you drive on, they make the underground utilities that transport your water. And with them, what we do is we send them a package of sensors that they use to monitor each and every single piece that they make. That increases their manufacturing throughput, it lowers their cost of each piece that they make, and it lowers their emissions, all while complying with Department of Transportation standards. We charge them a monthly fee for access to the data, and currently we're achieving 70% plus margins at each facility. Over the last 12 months, we've seen major traction in this market. We've onboarded 10 facilities across North America, including Confab, who's building California's infrastructure, and we've identified the next 300 customers with similar profiles that we're gonna go after in our pipeline. The great thing about this beachhead market alone is that there's 3,000 precast facilities that we can deploy our technology into. Our customers choose us because of many things, but the main one is our accuracy and reliability of our data. We do this through our patents. We've patented the ability to monitor electrical resistivity, which is an actual material property, and it allows us to have a deeper slate of analytics. It allows us to monitor concrete and other materials like concrete alternative advanced materials that are coming onto market for the life cycle of those materials, and we do this in the most economical way possible. So we're digitizing a huge industry, construction materials testing. Anything that's not a home has to be tested for performance. This leads to $10 billion being spent every year just trying to figure out how concrete is performing, and we put a laboratory essentially in your pocket. So we have an amazing team. We have repeat founders, PhDs in material science and civil engineering, experts across construction, software development, and I'm a recovering investment banker. I still haven't caught up on sleep, actually. So we're excited to announce our seed round. We're raising $2 million. We're gonna use these funds to onboard the next 300 customers in our pipeline, get to multiple $1 million in revenue, while also developing our sensor, which will not only be able to monitor during the construction period, but past construction. And our mission is to have every piece of critical infrastructure communicate with us in real time. So if you're interested in powering the next generation of infrastructure and modernizing our built environment, reach out to me at robert@sensytec.com or look for the guy with the hard hat. Thank you.
Hey, good afternoon. Thanks, everybody. In addition to what Kerri was saying about thanking the staff and everybody, I really want to make a shout out to the mentors that participated in our program this year. I know many of you are here today, and you're the heart and soul of the program. You're what makes it happen. And I say that because this is my 4th year of participating in the Rice Clean Energy Accelerator. The first 3 years I was a mentor, and this year I was asked to step in as an XIR, and what a great privilege that was for me. What a great honor to work with such a talented, energetic, and creative group of founders. So really my pleasure. The 3 that I worked most closely with this year were all focused on sort of the intersection of energy and emissions. The first 2, the methane emissions problem with Capwell, who focuses on mitigation of those smaller scale leaks and vents that may seem insignificant, but on aggregate are a very significant part of the global methane emission problem. So they've come up with a novel way to address that. Geolabe, on the other hand, is looking at the top-down monitoring from satellites, and they're truly positioned to disrupt the satellite monitoring of methane emissions in a low-capital, automated fashion that has the potential to reduce the cost by a factor of 10 and increase the accuracy or the quality of the data by a factor of 10 as well. So fascinating there. And then the third one is Kaizen Clean Energy, who found a very interesting approach to microgrid, off-grid power generation that, among other things, addresses the challenge of infrastructure, electric infrastructure lagging behind electrification of vehicle fleets. So I think you'll find all of these very interesting. You're not interested in hearing from me. You want to hear them tell their stories. So come on up, Capwell.
Well, thank you very much for the intro, John. My name is Andrew Lane. I am co-founder and CEO of Capwell. Capwell is a methane elimination company meeting growing demand for solutions to lower emissions in the oil and gas production and exploration space. So why is it we do what we do, and why do we have a business? Well, to put it frankly, it's because traditional emissions reduction solutions are costly. Say you're an operator, for example, and you have a well leaking 5,000 cubic feet of methane a day. Sounds like a lot, but in industry, that's actually very little. You would still be required to put on a $70,000 to $100,000 vapor recovery unit plus a combustor. And you actually get even worse than when you have to deal with casing gas, where you actually have to pay $250,000 for a workover and a cement squeeze. This puts producers in the awkward position of having to vent out these emissions rather than employing solutions. Well, that's where Capwell comes in. Our patented modular system comes in at less than 50% of the price of the leading emissions reduction solutions. We are self-powered. We capture gas at the source, compress it into a tank, and then utilize it for either sale, for site power, or for emissions destruction. Everything you see on the screen in front of you fits in the back of my F-150, meaning we're deployable to any location regardless of access conditions. So we found a very wide array of use cases around the oil and gas industry, focusing on low and intermittent flow vents and leaks. We have applications in surface casing vents of the 90,000 around the US, but concentrated in the Northeast. We have glycol dehydration units and the flash separators in those systems, as well as produced water and other types of tank batteries. We also have application in the end-of-life well space, serving the country's nearly 700,000 marginal wells, as well as the 2.1 million abandoned and orphaned wells. So why now? Why does this matter? Well, the 12 largest companies that produce oil and gas in the world form the OGCI, and they've stated that the easiest way to meet our short-term climate goals is to lower our methane emissions. The IPAA, which is all the other American producers not in the previous 12 companies, would agree with this statement, but know that if no cost-effective solution is found, 34% of current wells would become uneconomical under the new IRA waste emissions charge, Quad OB, and Subpart W. So Capwell is doing its part to provide a lower cost of methane abatement as well as keeping wells economic. So thus far, we've tested our solution in 4 states, in Pennsylvania, New York, Louisiana, and Texas. We've had a fully issued patent, and we've raised around $1 million, 3/4 of which being dilutive, 1/4 of which being non-dilutive. We've also found very strong traction with customers. We will be doing a pilot with a super major in the Haynesville Basin around their produced water tanks. And we also are working towards a pilot in the Northeast around casing gas and their tank vapors as well. We're also very pleased to announce here at Energy Tech Venture Forum that we are raising our seed round of $4 million. That'll help us grow the team and provide a commercial system, as well as start early scale up in our manufacturing. So if our cost-effective system for abating methane gas is interesting to you, or you're interested in our seed round, please come find me after the programming, and I'd be happy to talk to you more. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Claudia Holbert. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Geolabe, and I'm very fortunate to come after Andrew because we're also in methane, although on the detection side of things, so he did a very good job at most of the introduction, really. So basically, we are a startup funded by DOE and NASA, and what we do is we automatize and we improve methane detection from space. So I don't really have to talk about how much of a hot topic methane emissions are right now, with all the voluntary corporate commitments, the new regulations, and now the estimated $2 billion in fines that are being introduced. A problem is most existing sensor capabilities are not scalable. So you have local sensors or sensors mounted on cars, drones, or planes that tend to be very costly, and they can be really deployed at scale. You also have large-scale approaches leveraging satellite data, but they're not automated today. A lot of people don't know that people still look at those images by eye in order to be able to detect emissions. What we have is a fully automated and scalable methane detection system. It's a SaaS offer, really, that's able to detect methane emission on a global scale, that's deployable to tens of thousands of sites, and we've done that already, entire pipeline networks, pretty much anywhere on Earth. And the way we do this is by denoising spectral images. So that's an example of a methane enhancement map. They're going to be just as noisy even if you use dedicated satellites for methane monitoring. And that's why people actually look at those images by eye. Over the past 2 years, our team has been developing custom deep learning algorithms that are able to automatize and improve detection capabilities by more than an order of magnitude compared to the current state of the art. So this is what we get in comparison. With a 0.02% of false positives, this is the first fully automated methane monitoring system that's actually scalable even at a global scale. We can look at any site, anywhere on Earth, every 2 to 5 days, with a spatial resolution that typically allows us to identify the source. So this is an example here in orange of a detected unlit flare, and you can see that it matches very well the flare stack on the left-hand side. We detect more than 100,000 super-8 meter events in the Permian Basin every year alone. And our technology has been extensively validated for comparison with thousands of airborne detections, as well as controlled release experiments. We're part of the Stanford controlled release experiment campaign this year. We're a strong team. Our work has been published in the most prestigious scientific journals and widely relayed in both the scientific and general press. In terms of traction, we received several research awards, part of several accelerators, received entrepreneurial awards, we have ongoing pilots, and we're starting to have early sales. So we've been at it for a little while, started in early 2022, 2 years of R&D, and since the beginning of this year, we've been focusing on the engineering side of things. So we have a cloud solution that's functioning. We're finalizing our front end with the goal of launching our platform in Q1 2025. We're actually having a beta launched in about a month and a half now. Everything funded for now with $3 million of non-dilutive funding. So what we can do, we can help upstream and midstream companies with identifying and replying to super emitter notifications when they come out. We'll always have data that's retroactively available to assess the level of the leaks and limit the amount of fines. We can identify persistent leaks. We can help with ESG reporting by looking at past data and also help prioritize acquisition and investments. So yeah, if you'd like to see some of our data, we'd love to talk. We're also looking for pilot partners. So if you're interested in this technology, please come and have a conversation with us. Thank you.
Go. Great.
Good afternoon. I'm Craig Klossmeyer, and I'm co-founder of Kaizen Clean Energy. At Kaizen, we manufacture a low-cost, high-capacity distributed generation solution. So we're producing primary power for locations that are either grid congested or off-grid. Our core application is EV charging, and our target customers are large fleet operators like Amazon or Walmart. Their EV charging power requirements are immense, and the grid can't handle it. The local distribution networks do not have the capacity. Grid constraints are already impacting the transition to EV fleets in California. You've got large areas of California that have no additional grid capacity, and as a result, the grid is now the #1 risk to fleet electrification in the state. Diesel generators are no longer a solution. The local emission profile, particularly NOx, makes them not permittable as a primary power source in any of our target markets. What Kaizen offers is a clean alternative to diesel gensets. We use a hydrogen fuel cell-based system, which means that we emit no NOx, no SOx, no particulates. What makes us different is that we produce hydrogen at the customer site. We reform methanol and deionized water into hydrogen using a proven proprietary process. Whoops, sorry, it's now I'm totally off. There we go. Proven proprietary process. This reduces our fuel cost by 70%, which makes us cost effective against the grid. And what do you keep? So, I'm sorry, I've got two things here. Apologize. Cost effective against the grid and half the cost of diesel gensets. Our core value proposition to the customer is on-site generation that's low cost and is deployable in virtually any brownfield site. What really separates us, though, is that we're the only on-demand generation that emits no NOx. This is absolutely critical for permitting for any local air quality district. Our units have operated around the world in the absolute most extreme conditions. The systems are robust, they work, and they work everywhere. Our management team, we've got the necessary manufacturing, engineering, finance, and sales leadership to make this company highly successful. I'm sorry, I've got two slides here and I'm having a difficult time with this. So anyway, so in terms of where we stand right now, we've got sales orders for 2 units. One will go into the Port of Los Angeles as a EV charging EV drayage trucks. And the second unit will go in to replace a diesel genset on a marine vessel at the Port of San Diego. We have a LOI for 50 units with the client Zeem there. This will be the first unit off that LOI that we provide. All told, that LOI will represent $70 million of revenue for us. I've already talked about our management team, apologize for that. In terms of capital, we are raising $3 million of capital. We will use this funds, so first of all, we're going to upsize our 150 kilowatt product offering to a 1 megawatt size product offering. We've heard from our clients, this is the scale of the problem, this is the product they need, and we can generate 30% CapEx efficiencies through the scale-up process. Second, we'll establish a central distribution facility to mix methanol and deionized water and distribute it to our local customers. Third, we'll staff up the entity to meet the demand that we're seeing from our clients. And fourth, provide some working capital. We appreciate your time. Robert and I will be around afterwards, and we would love to talk further if this is of interest.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Ritu, Sachdeva, being an XIR with the Clean Energy Accelerator program. Thank you, Matt, Kerri, and Chelsea for putting this great program. It's been an incredible summer working with the founders and learning about the fascinating technologies that they're working on. The 3 companies I'm going to introduce are addressing energy transition in their own unique manner. The first one is QEA Tech. QEA Tech is improving energy efficiency for the buildings, not by optimizing heating or cooling demand, but by addressing an aspect that has been totally ignored by the industry, i.e. measuring loss through building envelope. The second company I'm going to introduce is CarboMat. CarboMat is producing carbon fibers, something we use in our day-to-day lives. in a much cheaper and cleaner way using a waste product from petroleum industry. And the third company I'm going to introduce is Vroom Solar, which is reducing the cost of distributed solar generation by making it more DIY, as well as reducing the permitting needs. I hope you'll enjoy learning about all these three companies, and I'll hand it over to Justin to talk about QEA Tech. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Justin Kim, and I'm VP of Growth with QEA Tech. The letters QEA in our name stand for Quantifiable Energy Audit, and we're focused on providing actionable data on the building envelope. So buildings consume a staggering amount of energy, and the building envelope, comprised of the walls, windows, doors, roof, and insulation, plays an essential role in the energy efficiency of buildings. There are upwards of 40% energy savings potential through this envelope. Take this hotel as an example. I would bet it's losing over $100,000 annually in wasted heating and cooling. Historically, it's very difficult to evaluate the performance of the envelope. At QEA Tech, we are pinpointing issues, quantifying energy loss, and recommending specific and targeted retrofits that will maximize energy savings and return on investment. We take a simplified three-step approach to this. So the first step is mass data capture. So we use drones, thermography, and IoT devices for 24 hours. Then our proprietary AI software is analyzing and processing that high volume of data, and we're presenting our findings and recommendations through an interactive customer portal that we turn around in a couple weeks and is available 24/7. We are a revenue-generating company, tracking to 1.5 million this year. We've completed projects with over 600 buildings. We have over 50 customers across the US and in Canada. We work with large real estate owners and operators, property management firms, different levels of government, utility companies, as well as energy as a service companies. We work with all different buildings, all different types of buildings as well, so commercial, residential, institutional, and industrial buildings. We've identified over 25,000 metric tons of CO2 savings opportunities through the work that we've completed. We have high customer retention and healthy margins. And our revenue model is based on three components. So one is based on the projects that we're conducting. Two is the subscription model for our customer portal. And thirdly, we're receiving referral fees from downstream vendors that are actually implementing the retrofits that we're recommending. We're operating in a large, fast-growing market. So decarbonization in buildings is a significant movement worldwide. There are a number of regulations and local laws that are spurring on the demand for our services. There are also a number of rebates and incentives available for our customers. We are providing unparalleled insights while being multiple times faster, completely non-intrusive, as well as cost-effective. We have the largest data set for the thermal performance of different building materials, and that serves as a significant competitive moat and ensures that our AI is accurate and reliable. We also have patents for the quantification of energy loss and for anomaly and pattern detection through infrared imaging. We have a seasoned team with decades of experience. I have a background in management consulting. Our CEO is a serial entrepreneur with 2 previous exits in this space. And we are raising a Series A of $7 million. This is to fuel our expansion in the United States as well as in Europe. We've just signed a partnership agreement with Germany's largest utility companies and are in late-stage negotiations with a few others. So if you'd like to participate in the round, I'd love to have a conversation with you after this. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everyone. Shabab Saad, the CEO and co-founder of CarboMat. Today here to present a unique business opportunity to produce low-cost carbon fibers from low-value asphaltenes, which has a revenue growth opportunity of multi-billion dollars within the next 5 years. In the search for sustainable materials in this century, carbon fibers is considered as one of the fastest growing sustainable materials, which are lightweight, recyclable materials, thinner than human hair, yet stronger than steel. The current carbon fiber global market is worth more than $8 billion, thus presenting us with a massive market opportunity. However, these carbon fibers are currently not affordable for large volume applications in different industries due to their extremely high production cost and high GHG emissions. This is primarily because of the precursor material needed, which accounts for 51% of the total carbon fiber production cost. So, to replace the precursor and reduce the overall production cost, CarboMat has developed a clean technology to produce low carbon footprint and low cost carbon fibers from a waste byproduct of the petroleum refining industry known as asphaltenes. Our proprietary technology consists of a multi-step process in which asphaltene is taken as the feedstock material and the final product is carbon fibers. As a result, our low-cost carbon fibers can be used for various large volume applications in different composite industries such as sports, automotive, marine, energy storage, and many others, thus allowing the global carbon fiber market to expand by more than 4 folds, allowing the TAM to be way more than $30 billion. And here's the kicker. Our carbon fibers offer a jaw-dropping 60% reduced production cost with 50% reduced GHG emissions relative to our competitors, thus further validating our value propositions and unique selling points as we tackle 2 of the most burning problems of the global carbon fiber industry. Currently, we have a gram-scale working prototype unit through which we are producing uniform and consistent quality carbon fibers every day in gram scales. And not only that, but our carbon fibers are also compatible and suitable for various product development, including 3D printing of different lightweight structures such as drone components and various sporting goods, for example. Currently, we have 15 plus and growing strategic partners in our pipeline from the upstream and the downstream side of the business, which includes the large key players in the asphaltene supply chain and tier 1 and 2 OEMs in the composite manufacturing space. So to lead and proceed all these developments, we have put together an excellent team in place with more than 100 years of experience in carbon fibers, composites, engineering, physics, chemistry, IP strategy, business development, and even sales. Currently, we are raising $500,000 to support immediate scale-up, begin customer-assisted product development and testing, spearhead strategic development with larger corporations, and lastly, shorten that road towards commercialization. Furthermore, these private dollars would also unlock at least $1 million of non-dilutive funding to further assist us in our technical and strategic operations. Last but most importantly, this small seed raise would help us to cut down market entry at least by 18 months, begin exhaustive customer trials right now, generate early revenue, and accelerate our path towards commercialization within no time. So please join me in this adventurous journey where I become your advocate and make low-cost sustainable carbon fibers affordable in all your everyday products. I'm here till next Tuesday. Please reach out to me. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. I'm Luke Phelps. I am a recovering entrepreneur. This is my fourth startup. I have successfully sold 2 other companies, and my partner and co-founder, James Bartley, and I have been working on a new solution, a new inverter technology that will flip the script in the solar industry. Today, solar is expensive because of the battery and grid connections that we need to have solar operate. It makes it complex, expensive, and constrains how solar can operate for individuals and makes it harder to access. At Vroom Solar, we are working on lowering that cost by up to 40% for an average solar install for individuals. Our solution is plug and play. It needs no programming, no permitting, and no battery or grid. The net metering contracts today cost anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000 for an average install, and a central battery system costs anywhere from $10,000 to $20,000 to include that with a solar system. So what makes our system different? First, I want to talk about our new sensor technology that we have developed. This is the first solar wattage meter on the market today. This allows us to grab the wattage reading with no load, battery, or grid connected to the solar system. This technology will change the solar industry on how we deliver solar. Today in the utility scale companies, they are using AI and irradiance meters for 75% accuracy, and we can do it with 100% accuracy with this sensor. Second, you need a usable sine wave from solar to be generated. Today, that sine wave is coming from grid or batteries. Our solution allows us to build a perfect, usable sine wave from solar. And finally, with the data from the sensor and the sine wave, we deliver that power through a multiple port stream, allowing us to maximize the solar curve instead of sending the power through a single port. Put all those together, and this is our first baby. This is the Vroom 3000 for remote power solution, was the first market we decided to go into. This system uses our forecaster, it uses our multi-port delivery, and it uses other functions to allow ease of use and extremely simple for the end customer to use. And we can run this system at job sites, remote buildings for 1/10 the cost of what it costs to run a gas generator today. The first markets, the beachhead markets that we'll be going into will be the construction sites and remote buildings. And we have also been invited to the Air Force to demo the product at 2 different Air Force bases with our Air Force grant. We already have 4 supplier agreements signed and 70 more in our HubSpot pipeline awaiting for product availability. And this is just the beginning. We will then scale this technology into the residential market for power injection into a home that bypasses that net metering permit completely. And we'll also be taking our sensor technology into the utility scale systems. This is our team. We are extremely proud of them. They are hardworking. I'm honored to work with every single one of them. I've never been a part of a team that has so much unity, and they have so much experience in their respective fields. I do want to point out that 4 of our team members have owned solar companies in the past and know the industry very well. Finally, we are seeking $1 million to close our $2 million seed round. We'll use these funds to launch the Vroom 3000 for commercial distribution, advertising, sales, and new hires. We'll then begin to set up our Series A for launching our product into the residential market and the utility scale solar. Thank you, and join us in making solar accessible to everyone.
I got to get rid of that picture. Yeah, hi everybody, and welcome to my pod. And thanks again, Kerri, Matt, and Chelsea. You guys have done a great job, and it's been really great to work with you guys. The companies in my pod have been addressing some of the biggest challenges in the fight against climate change, and they've been doing that by looking at currently available technology and figuring out ways to make it better. And they've all come to Houston from 3 different continents and an atoll in the middle of the Pacific, basically to find help and find collaboration opportunities with pilots, with scale-up, and ultimately with commercialization. And as most of you know, Houston is really, really good at developing and building energy assets, deploying them anywhere around the world. And if we're not the energy capital or the energy transition capital of the world, we damn well ought to be. So quickly, to introduce the companies, we'll have Tiago from 1S1 Energy, and they are developing electrolyzers from novel materials that will reduce the cost of green energy. And they'll be followed by Clement from Mitico. And Mitico is using sorbent material to significantly reduce the cost of, what are you doing anyway? Point source, I want to be more specific. It's point source carbon capture. And then last, but definitely not least, is Nate from OceanBit. And OceanBit is using ocean thermal technology to turn the ocean into a major source of 24/7 zero carbon electricity. So Tiago, if you're ready.
Fantastic. Hello, everyone. Let me see if I can manage to make this work. So yeah, I'm Tiago Figueiredo. I'm one of the founders of 1S1 Energy. We figured out we can make green hydrogen 4 times cheaper when using our boron-based materials. That will be in parity with fossil fuel-produced hydrogen. That's why we decided to build the best electrolyzers out there. I'll not bore you too much with this because I think we heard quite a lot, but we truly need a green molecule, and that's green hydrogen if we want to decarbonize sectors such as our fertilizers, steel manufacturing, long-term storage of our renewables, and moving us and our goods around the globe. The thing is, the electrolyzers today just don't work, right? And the technology that has the best fundamentals is called proton exchange membrane, PEM, but it's not there yet either. We managed to figure out how to make that work. So in the early days, we look at PEM and say, what's the problem here? And we figure out that the biggest villain is actually in the name. It's the proton exchange group in proton exchange membrane technology. We managed to upgrade that, and that's the core IP of our company that has been allowing us to completely rethink the electrochemical cell and build novel electrolyzers. So essentially, this is a graph, but this is the best way to figure out how to explain difference between technologies. So essentially, it's not too complicated. If you own an electrolyzer, what you want to see is the lowest amount of electricity used, but also at the highest possible throughput, so your system is smaller and more manageable. PEM today is here, right? We managed to take it already to the target for Europe in 2030. And actually, we can do even better as we continue to develop our technology. We're just scratching the surface here, becoming the winning electrolyzer company. So, as I said, we started with the P in PEM, but we are rethinking the whole electrochemical cell. So essentially being able, at the first generation of our technology, we're quite close to that, delivering 20% less electricity use. The second generation, which will get even more exciting, we're gonna operate at change phase, so we'll be even more efficient at high temperature electrolysis, reduce the capex by half by working with components that are less complicated in terms of supply chain, also easier to manufacture, and make it 3 times more durable because we are removing the main failure mechanisms that exist in this technology. So as of now, we've raised around 4.2 million in funding and also secured 2.4 million in paid pilots. We've won 2 utilities, NL and CEEE, and a steel company called CSN. Our goal is to work with these paid pilots all the way to what will be our final product, which is a 1 megawatt that can be put together into any size of operation. Again, doing that is super interesting for us to learn by doing with our customers and also build a customer base. So we want to have as efficient as possible as a supply chain. So either manufacture some of all of our components in-house and assemble our stacks. For that, we secured very significant approval for funding by the EU to be given by the government of Portugal, and we're working with them to be able to secure these funds as soon as possible. So as a team, our CEO, this is his 3rd startup. He and our CTO have been working together for the past 15 years, kind of finish each other's sentences, have done a lot of cool things together. And myself, I built and sold a forestry company, which was a B corporation. So we're not yet raising our Series A. That's going to happen at the end of the year, but we're happy to start the conversation, and start the ball rolling. At the moment, we're super keen on continue to pilot our technology, either the stack or also the components. So we see that either oil and gas, utilities, and chemical companies are the partners that we will be seeking to work with at this stage. So, if you want to take one thing away for this presentation, as we are the company that upgraded the P in PEM, which is a big deal because PEM is all around. And that's how we're going to make green hydrogen happen. Thanks a lot for the opportunity.
Good afternoon, everybody, or howdy. So who in this room has heard about carbon capture before? Show of hands. I knew you would be a good crowd. My name is Dr. Clément Cid, and I'm the CEO and the co-founder of Mitico. So at Mitico, what we're proposing is a point source carbon capture solution. Why? Because in 2040, US natural gas generation will be 30 to 70% higher than in 2022. Keep in mind that we have carbon neutrality goals, and in the end, you need to capture that CO2. Now, you're going to tell me, well, why aren't we doing that now? Well, we are, but it doesn't work well. Carbon capture today is bulky, complex, hazardous. It's basically having a chemical plant right next to whatever you're making plant. And that makes it very expensive. So what did we do at Mitico? Well, we started by basically developing a low-cost solution to that problem. We have a 60% lower capex and amines, and we also have a system that is modular and tunable. That basically means it's a drop-in solution for current CO2 user. Our name Mitico comes from mitigation. We want to basically provide a solution for emitters to reduce their carbon footprint at the easiest way. And further, we are a non-toxic solution. So that means that there is no wastewater or gases to treat with our technology. Now, how are we doing it? And you might be wondering, what do I have in my box here? I didn't bring a cool hat. We basically have a proprietary sorbent leveraging potassium carbonate chemistry. We developed that originally at Caltech and validated it, and it's under patenting process in multiple countries. And that sorbent enables our carbon capture technology. That makes it that we can access to a chemistry that is actually extremely simple, but we do it in a very efficient way and a very stable way. And that's the secret sauce. So where can we apply it? Well, gas power generation, manufacturing, also petrochemical industries. I heard there is a lot of those here. How does it look like? Well, here you have a representation of the technology. So you see the two white towers are the tank where we put that sorbent in, and then the flue gas coming from the emitter. So imagine you are the emitter here in the picture, and your flue gas is coming through our technology. It's going through these granules and selectively being attracted. And then we can desorb, we can basically regenerate it again and again and again and again. Now, where we are in the development? Well, we are launching Centennial. This is the first version of the technology at a scale that is, we can consider engineering scale. It is between 0.5 and 1 ton per day carbon capture capacity. And then we're moving forward with larger units, Denali, Everest, Fuji, you see it. What does Centennial look like? Well, we have 9 industry partners with a paid pilot in Canada. And here you can see what a first version of Centennial looks like with Alan here, our CTO, in the middle. And that unit is going to go for different type of market segment testing in Canada. I mentioned Alan, but we are a team of very laser-focused and talented engineers and scientists originally from Caltech. I highlighted the 3 co-founders, but we have other 4 amazing engineers and technicians. And the other reason why I'm here today, to tell you about what we're doing, but also to tell you that there is a possibility for you to come and take part of this adventure. We have secured a lead investor. The round is 2/3 committed on first close. And so if you're interested, you can scan that QR code. You can send me a text. I'll buy you a beer. I heard there's some drinks tonight. And if you're interested to know about the technology, you can go to www.mitico.tech. Thank you.
Aloha. My name is Nate from OceanBit, and here at OceanBit, we harness the power of the sun stored in the ocean to generate 24/7 carbon-free ocean thermal energy for data centers, island, coastal, grid markets, and electrifying offshore energy. Right now, energy is the rate-limiting step holding back the build-out of AI. And OceanBit solves the AI energy problem through the marriage of ocean thermal energy and data centers. The combination of these two technologies on an offshore platform results in 100% renewable energy with a 100% capacity factor, baseload energy being supplied to the data center, a 50% reduction in deployment time for a data center by eliminating grid interactions with behind-the-meter power, and I don't want to bury the lead, but a 37% reduction in energy consumption for the data center. And we do this with ocean thermal energy, a TRL-7 renewable electricity process that uses the same thermal cycle as geothermal, but instead of using heat from the ground, we use the temperature difference between warm surface and deep cold water to drive that electricity savings. And we take a strategic approach to market entry through small island developing states with a hybrid approach, where we sell the bulk of the power into the grid with long-term power purchase agreements at 50% reduction in what they currently pay, while partitioning the excess energy for a smaller scale data center deployment on board. And for us, this provides access to over $100 billion in non-dilutive funding available for renewable energy demonstrations in small island developing states, because these are the people most vulnerable to climate change. And we have validated this product market fit with the first nation-state MOU and angel investors from across the data center industry, because our first plant will generate $60 million in EBITDA and $30 million in cash flow after debt service, with a further 3 plants covered under the MOU. And with each additional plant, our energy gets cheaper and cheaper, allowing us to take a larger market share of some pretty large markets. And in addition to these, electrifying offshore energy, since we're in town, and other blue economy markets. And we're doing this with an all-star team with over 100 years of experience across nearly every ocean thermal plant built over the last 50 years, including this big guy from 1981, which brought us to TRL-7. And we're raising $2 million to do a small technical demonstration plant here in the state of Hawaii to meet our initial power purchase agreement deliverables, and then complete our approval in principle on our first commercial power plant. And so if anyone's interested in expensing vacations to Hawaii, or has a stacked, laid up bulk carrier, oil tanker, drill ship, any of those that you want to offload for some green renewable energy credits, we would love to talk. My name is Nate from OceanBit, and I'm the hairy guy with the Aloha shirt.
Congratulations, founders. We just wrapped up. We started this program right alongside Hurricane Beryl on July 9th or 10th. So these founders made their way here in what was some crazy weather. I also happened to sustain a scorpion sting that same day and was in the emergency room that morning. So that was a crazy day, if I recall, but we all managed to muddle through together. Know that I appreciate everything that you all have done. It's been a pleasure working with every single one of you. We look forward to continuing to support you in ways that work for you. So thank you and congratulations. Before we go, I do have some thank yous that I do want to get out of the way, or at least make sure that everyone's aware of. I mentioned earlier in my opening remarks that we ask our founders questions about what it is they want to get out of this program. So in addition to the mentorship, they also say they want access to our sponsors and our supporters. Many of them, as you heard today, are looking for pilot partners, demonstration partners, they're looking for customers. These sponsors and supporters play pivotal roles in helping them achieve those goals. So know that we appreciate what you do. It's because of your support that we're able to offer this equity-free accelerator program to our founders. So thank you all very much for the contributions that you make as well. In addition, this is a team that has come together and pulled this program together in a way that I hope has made meaningful progress for each of you. I want to personally thank Matt Pena and Chelsea Wessel-Self for being such a great leadership team to work with. Of course, my executives and residents, thank you so much for a stellar job. I hope you'll pick up the phone when we give you a call next year. So thank you guys as well so much. Briefly, I also wanted to mention, Brad, thank you for letting us be a part of the Energy Tech Venture Forum. Tara has managed to coordinate 95 different startups over the course of the last 2 days. Again, managing entrepreneurs is no easy task. So Tara, job well done on getting everybody in their seat at the right time and in the right place. Thank you so much. And then finally, these are the founders that you all heard from today. Founders, it doesn't stop today, and our support of you doesn't stop today. So we invite you to keep us apprised of your progress. Let us know how we can help you going forward. Let us know how we can make connections for you within this community. We invite you to become a part of our community on a long-term basis. Moving here is a great outcome for us. So anyway, I just want to say thank you for that. So with that, again, congratulations very much.